Hey, what's up, everybody? What's going on? Listen, do me a favor. Do me a favor. Before we get started, we're gonna be on here, and I just want to break down the friendship formula real quick. But before we do that, do me a favor. Go ahead and hit the like. Go ahead and hit the share button. Let all your family, let all your friends know that, listen, we're on. And if you, at the end, depending on time, if you have any questions or anything like that, we'll definitely try to answer as much. I'll definitely try to answer as much questions as possible. But as you know, we're into a new series here at Crown entitled The Principles of Friendship. And I wanted to just come on and keep the conversation going because this topic is so important. It's so crucial that we have to do relationship the right way. I don't think we do relationship the right way. My honest opinion, I don't think we do relationship the right way, because if we did, people wouldn't be falling off so much. If we did, people wouldn't be, marriages wouldn't be breaking up. Friends wouldn't be ending so quick. So when it comes to that, we have to make sure that when it comes to friendship, there's so many things that we need to learn, so many things that we need to understand in order to be effective in our friendship, in order to be effective in our relationships. So that's extremely important. So one of the things I want to do is, this is just a rhetorical question that I just want to throw out there for everybody to for everybody out to just think about for a second. And the question is this: who are your friends? Oftentimes we just interact with people, but when was the last time you actually stopped and did inventory on your life? When was the last time that you actually audited your relationships? Periodically, we're now getting ready to go into the summer, but over the spring, people do something called spring cleaning. That means as you get ready for your beach body, if you allow me to say it that way, there's certain things that you actually assess in your life, and you make a decision of what you're going to keep, what you're going to throw away, what you're going to donate. But when was the last time that you actually did that for your relationships? Like, when was the last time that you actually considered your friends and you asked yourself a series of questions such as, is this person a friend? I don't think we do that enough. I think what we do is we give people the friend title because they just was around. And they didn't bother us. They didn't get on our nerves. They just was, they just been around and they respond to different things like that. And over time, we call them our friends. But is that person really a friend? Is that the real definition of a friend? So we wanted to really get into it because too many times we have conflicts, we have tension. And one of the reasons for that is because of our relationships. So it's very important that we understand that friendships is not, when we're building a friendship with someone, it doesn't happen overnight. When you look back at what true friendships are made of, and when you look at what a real friend is, what you'll learn is that friendship, or true friendships, is hard work, it's sacrifice, it's dedication, it's intentionality. Yeah, that's a word that we don't see a lot in friendships. You pick who your friends are. You don't end up with them by default. So you got to be intentional. Like, this is your time, this is your life, this is your energy, this is your mental state, this is your spiritual state. So you got to be extremely intentional when it comes to who you connect with, who you do life with, who you allow in your boat, who you allow in your space, and whose space you go into, whose boat you go into, who you go on a journey with. Those are extremely, extremely important. So understand this. If you're going to build a friendship, it's going to require intentionality. Friendships don't just happen. Friendships have to be, and they require intentionality. Like, your best friend is not your best friend by accident. You're intentional with them. And that's the problem these days. Like, are you intentional with checking up on those who you call your friends? Are you intentional on spending time with them? Do you go out of your way for them? Or is it just kind of you get in where you fit in? What I've learned is this: life functions on principles. Life functions on principles, and principles are laws that govern life. And so when it comes to friendships, friendships also function on principles. Friendships function on principles. And what happens is, when we cooperate with the principle, we benefit from it. Stopping at a red light has benefits attached to it. Running a red light has consequences that comes with it. Well, the same thing goes with people and friendships. When we do friendships the right way, there are certain benefits that come with it. But you know what? When we do friendships the wrong way, there's also consequences that comes with it as well. So it's important that we're intentional, that we're committed to knowing that this is not going to happen overnight, and it's not going to be easy. So friendships require intentionality, and also friendships run on principles. Now, one of the things I want to do is I want to give you a principle, because, of course, we're talking about the principles of friendships. So if we're going to make sure our friendships last and go the distance, we got to operate by some principles. Now, here's a principle that I want you to write down. And somebody go ahead and throw it in the comment section so whoever's reading this later can get it. And this is the principle: put people in their proper place to prevent potential problems in the future. I know I said a whole lot, but I'm going to say it again slowly. I want you to put it in the comment section. Put people in their proper place to prevent potential problems in the future. Listen, when we meet people, when we interact with people, we automatically come with a certain set of expectations for them, and they have a certain set of expectations for us without even communicating. We automatically come with biases. We come with assumptions. We come with our own prejudices. We come with our own preferences. Y'all know I'm telling the truth. You know I'm telling the truth. So when we meet someone, and guess what? They're our friends if they like what we like. They're our friends if they do what we do, if they agree with what we agree with. So we like people that like what we like. Yeah. So the conflict, however, happens when we have a certain set of expectations on the people in our lives, and when they don't meet those expectations, and when they don't meet what we assume that they should meet, a lot of times without even having a conversation, it creates conflict. It creates tension. Because the distance between expectation and reality is conflict. When you set an expectation and it's not met in reality, it creates conflict. But guess what? When you mentally set when you mentally, emotionally, socially set an expectation on people and the reality does not manifest, the end result is conflict. And so this principle here is to help us minimize that principle. Because if we put people in their proper place, then based on where we put them, it comes with a certain expectation that if they exceed that place, then good. If they don't live up to that expectation, it doesn't hurt us. The problem is we have people in the wrong places in our lives. And as a result, there's things we expect from them. And when we don't get it, it creates conflict. It creates problems. So put people in their proper place in your life to prevent potential problems in the future. Now, what I want to do real quick is I want to give you the 4 areas that people will fit. But before I do that, I want everybody real quick to go ahead and hit share and be like, tune in. Where do people fit in your life? If you need to type something in the line, in the subject line, when you're sharing it, just say, where do people fit in your life? Jump in or jump on this live. Just everybody hit share right now, hit like. That way it'll let your friends, know that you're getting information about friendships. So people fit in 4 buckets. In my life, I've boiled it down to 4 buckets. You can probably expand it to more buckets, but for me, I want to simplify it and I want to make it simple for you as well. People should fit in 4 buckets in your life. And based on the buckets that they fit, though each bucket comes with its own set of expectations. Each bucket comes with its own set of expectations to prevent conflict. Each bucket has its own set of expectation, and so there's a certain level of energy that each bucket get. There's a certain level of attention that each bucket get. There's a certain level of interaction that each bucket get. That's important because based on where they are and how you interact with that bucket, it'll protect you. It'll protect you. I'm going to help somebody in this season because too many times we're frustrated with people because they keep letting us down. That's because we probably have them in the wrong bucket. And then there's people that's supposed to be a blessing to your life, but you have them in the wrong bucket, so you don't even know they exist. So what are those 4 buckets? The first bucket is the acquaintance bucket. Yeah, the acquaintance bucket. That bucket, those are the people that you know on a first name basis, and that's it. You just know their name. Not even their full name. You don't even know if that's their real name, but you know them on a first name basis because they're acquaintances. You're familiar with them. You see them around, but you know very little about their personal lives. You don't know if they're coming or going. So the first bucket is you got to know who are the acquaintances in your life, right? The second bucket is associates. Associates are people you know them on a first name basis, but you guys also have a shared interest. You maybe have a hobby that you like the same team. You routine and frequent probably the gym together. You probably go to church together. Listen, church is full of a whole bunch of associates. I know the Bible calls us brothers and sisters, but everybody in church, the majority of people are like associates. Yeah, they're like associates. All we do is come to church together. I don't know nothing about you. That's associates. And then there are the third bucket is the friends bucket. That's the friendship bucket. That's the friends bucket. These are people that you do life with. You don't just know their names. You don't just share common interests, but you also support each other. You function through life together. You go out of your way for them. You're intentional for them. That's your friendship bucket, right? And then the last bucket, the fourth one, the fourth level is confidants. Confidants. And I want you to notice, as you go up the levels, the amount of people diminishes in every level. Confidants are people that you really, really like. I mean, you really enjoy their company. You don't put them on a timer when you deal with them, when you interact with them. Time can slip away when you're hanging out with your confidants. They are a breath of fresh air for you. Confidants, right? So as the level go up, there's fewer confidants, more acquaintances. And the problem and the mistake that we make is this. We interact with acquaintances and associates, and we give acquaintances and associates the same type of energy and the same type of attention that we would a friend. We go out of our way for acquaintances and associates, but we don't properly put them in the right bucket. See, we go out of the way for them because our expectation is that they're a friend. But in reality, everything that every response, every reaction, every interaction from them communicates acquaintance and associate. But we're ignoring that because we desire friendship. So we go all in, but all we're getting back is surface level things. See, when it comes to relationship, here's another principle. Here's another principle. If the feeling is not mutual, fall back. If the feeling is not mutual, fall back. Don't force it. If you're trying to build a friendship with someone and the feeling is not mutual, fall back. Don't force it. As a matter of fact, somebody put this in the chat. Don't force what does not flow. Don't force what does not flow. If there's not a flow to this, if there's not a continuity, if there's not a camaraderie and consistency and chemistry, then you got to fall back. Because to that person, they're behaving as an acquaintance and they're behaving as an associate with you, but you desire friendship. So because you desire friendship, you go out of your way and you put way more into the relationship than the actual relationship can contain. I want you to visualize this. The acquaintance bucket is only a small bucket. The associate bucket is a little bit bigger. The friendship bucket is a little bit bigger than the first two. And of course, the confidant bucket is bigger than all of them, which means a confidant has the capacity. This is someone that has the capacity to handle all of the inner workings of your life. An acquaintance can't handle all of the inner workings of your life, but yet you keep pouring into an acquaintance hoping to get a return, but your time just gets wasted. Your money just gets wasted. Your resource just gets wasted because you're putting time and energy in people that don't have the capacity to carry what you're offering. They don't have the capacity to carry what you're bringing. They don't have the capacity to carry. And so as a result, when you start pouring out, you pour out with a certain set of expectations. Not saying that you do that intentionally. It just is human nature. And when that is not reciprocated, you feel some type of way. But the reason for that is you didn't properly check. We don't properly check to see, is this person an acquaintance? Is this person an associate? Is this person a friend? Is this person a confidant? Now, let me make it practical. Let me make it practical. If you're dealing with an acquaintance, all right, let's pick one function in your life, one event in your life. You got a event at your house, a party, a barbecue, or something like that coming up at your house. If that person is an acquaintance, they're not invited to the barbecue. Acquaintances don't get invited to the barbecue. But what we do is we invite them anyway, and then they get in our space, and then we feel some type of way when it's not reciprocated. Acquaintances don't get invited to the barbecue. That's the first thing. The second level, associates, they can hear about the barbecue. Yeah. So I ain't gotta, listen, I don't have to share any information with an acquaintance. Hey, hi, bye. But an associate, hey man, what you doing this weekend? Oh man, I'm having a barbecue. I got a couple of family. I got a couple of friends coming over. So associates can hear about the barbecue, but they don't get invited either. Usually the associates that get invited to the barbecue are those that you can see a friendship developing with down the road. So you vet them. But usually what happens is associates, you shouldn't get invited to the barbecue either unless a friend is bringing them, unless someone can vouch for them. I'm trying to help you guard your personal space. The Bible says, guard your heart, for out of it flows the issues of life. We give too many people access. And mind you, I'm not telling you to shut down to people. I'm just saying make sure you know how to give people access into your life. See, you can have a phenomenal relationship with your acquaintances. You can have a phenomenal relationship with your associates, as long as the expectation for them and the input and the energy into them is based on that level. For an acquaintance, for an associate. But the friend can attend the barbecue. The friend can attend the barbecue. You invite your friends because you're doing life together. You have mutual interests together. So you invite your friends to the barbecue. See, what it look like your friend hear about the barbecue that was filled with a bunch of your associates and acquaintances. That doesn't make any sense. But believe it or not, that's how people are these days. They invite the coworker, they invite somebody that they just met off the street to their most intimate space, and your friends, your so-called friends, got to hear about that? See, that's backwards. That's backwards. Your friends get invited to the barbecue. Your acquaintance and your associates can hear and find out about the barbecue at another time. And then, of course, your confidants, see, they get to participate in the barbecue with you. They help you set up, they help you break down, even bring a dish, cook for you, man the barbecue, socialize in the barbecue for you. That's your confidants because they care about you. So you got to know where the people fit. Where do the people fit? I want you to take a moment and think about it. See, it always helps. What you should do is take this list and draw a column and be honest with yourself. Draw a column of an acquaintance, draw a column of an associate, draw a column of a friend, and draw a column of a confidant. And ask yourself, who are my confidants? Who are the people that I will share my most intimate and deepest secrets and information with? Who are my confidants? And write their names down. And then ask yourself this question. Are you a confidant for them? If so, great. If not, why not? You gotta see, you're auditing your relationships. Then ask yourself, who are my friends? Who do I do not mind around me at the barbecue? If they weren't there, I would miss them. Who are they? Then who are your associates? And who are your acquaintances? Now, here's the tough part. There are people that you know and you've known for years that won't qualify as a confidant. And sadly, they won't qualify as a friend as well. But you can't ignore it. See, Maya Angelou quotes, when people tell you who they are the first time, believe them. See, people have been telling us who they are, but we're not believing them, and we get in our feelings. So in this season, you're going to have to downshift a bit on some people. There's some people you gave too much information about you that should have never got that information because they never was a safe place, and they didn't have the capacity to carry what you was dropping on them. So you got to downshift a little bit. And the way you downshift with people is in time. You downshift with people with time. Your time should go towards building and strengthening your friendships and those that are of your confidants. That's where you put your time into. See, you can pick up the phone and speak to an associate and acquaintance, but you physically set time aside for a friend and you set time aside for a confidant. I want you to practice that. Start pulling back your time from people you know you're not getting a mutual return for the relationship. Start putting time back. It don't mean you ignore them. It don't mean you talk bad about them. It don't mean you go a different way. It just means you start changing how the relationship interacts. Now, if that person truly desires friendship and a strong relationship with you, then they're going to shift when the shift happens. They're going to notice the shift. Hold on a second. Wait a minute. How come I don't see you anymore? How come? And then, see, that's a good indicator. But if you shift on someone and they don't react to the shift, that's an indication that you're heading in the right direction. See, a lot of times we're pouring so much in, we don't wait to see the response. We don't wait to see the reaction. Just give it some time and you'll see how they shift. So those are the 4 buckets. Now, when it comes to relationship, go ahead and hit like, go ahead and hit share again, because I want to give you this formula real quick. When it comes to relationships, I want to give you the ingredients that are necessary, vital, required in order to build strong, genuine, healthy, let me say this, healthy relationships, strong, genuine, healthy. Because we got some relationships, I'll be honest with you, it's toxic. The relationship is toxic. It's draining you. Every time you pick up the phone, they're dumping on you. They're not taking into your account your mental, your spiritual state. They are leeches, just draining you. Or it could be you doing that. If the shoe fit, wear it. But the point is, this formula is for the purpose of building healthy relationships, healthy friendships. It works for friends. It works for spouses. It's extremely vital. I want you to write this down. If you're going to build long-lasting relationship, you need these three ingredients: truth, trust, and transparency. Truth, trust, and transparency. Go ahead and put that in the comment section. Truth, trust, and transparency. Truth, trust, and transparency. If you're going to build long-lasting relationship, you got to have truth, you got to have trust, you got to have transparency. Truth, trust, and transparency. Those are extremely important when building strong friendships, when building strong and healthy relationships. The first one that's important is truth. Truth deals with information. Truth deals with information. You can't build a friendship in a relationship with no information. How can I say someone is my friend if I don't know nothing about them? And that's the problem. We're calling people our friends that we don't have any information on. See, the more information that pours into the relationship, the more opportunity it gives for the relationship to grow. It allows us to build a solid foundation. But if I don't know anything about you, I can't call you my friend. Even though I see you all the time, if I don't know anything about you, you're not my friend. So truth deals with information. See, information is important when building a friendship. What are the things that you like? When's your birthday? What's your family name? Children's name? Those types of things. And hear me, if you're going to start a friendship and you're lying about the information, then you don't have a friendship in the first place. You're probably dealing with an associate, or you're probably dealing with an acquaintance. So the first thing is truth. That's important. Truth is necessary in order to build the relationship. I'm going to skip over and come back to the second one. Then the next one is transparency. Transparency is intent. It's motive. It lets me see where you are. It's where I can see if you're authentic or not, based on if you're transparent. Listen, when I ask you or somebody asks you about something and you're honest, that's truth. But transparency deals with the why, the motive, right? So the truth deals with the what. What did you do? I went and did this. Well, why did you do that? That's transparency. Transparency deals with the why. The reason those two are important, truth and transparency, is because when you're pouring those two into the relationship, the end result is trust. It's the impact of the relationship. And based on the level of trust, will decide and determine the strength of the relationship. It'll determine whether or not I get up at 2:00 in the morning to come help you with a flat tire. If I trust you, if you're a truthful person, then you have, if you're truthful, if you're transparent, then you have equity with me. See, we're giving people equity. We're giving people lines of credit in our lives that honestly did not build the trust. Listen, you don't put your credit, your name, your money on the line with people you don't trust. You shouldn't. But a lot of us do that. And then we're surprised when then they don't pay you back. You don't hear from them anymore. You never built up any trust with them. So in order to have a successful relationship, you need truth. You need trust, you need transparency, because as long as those three are working in harmony with each other, the relationship was just going to keep growing stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. But the minute you start lying and the minute you let your insecurities build walls and you're not transparent, the relationship is in trouble, because every time you lie and you're not truthful, you break trust. Every time you're not transparent with intentions, you break trust. And what happens is a relationship is over when trust gets to a place where it is irreparable or seemingly irreparable, or the person does not want to build it again. The relationship is over. And so some of us, our relationship may be on the brink because we weren't honest. We weren't transparent. And as a result, trust is fractured and it is leaking, and we need to repair it. So that's the ingredient. And that's the formula. That's the friendship formula. If you're going to build a friendship, if you're going to build friendships with people, make sure there's truth, make sure there's trust, and make sure there is transparency. And you'll see that you'll have stronger, healthier, long-lasting friendships. And if it is in the context of a marriage, the marriage will go to a whole nother level, because there is truth, there is trust, and there is transparency. So what I want to do real quick is, if you have a question concerning friendships and this subject, we're going to give it a few minutes. If there is, we'll take them. If there's not, we'll go ahead and close out. If you have any questions, I want you to go ahead and drop it in the comment section, in the comment line, and then we'll go ahead and bring them into this discussion. Go ahead and drop them. I'm gonna give you a second. Go ahead and hit share. Go ahead and hit like. Let your family, let your friends know, hey, we're having a conversation about friendships, the friendship formula. Go ahead and jump in on this. You don't want to miss it. So go ahead and drop that. Yep. Gonna give you guys a second to go ahead and hear it. Let's go ahead and have healthy relationships, healthy friendships. Let me give you guys a moment. Once again, hit share, hit like, and then we'll take any questions you guys may have. The feeling, I'm seeing all of your comments. If the feeling is not mutual, fall back. Don't force what don't flow. Got to know when to fall back. That's right. That's right. Make sure you start putting people in those right buckets, all right? Make sure you start putting people in those proper buckets in order to make sure that you're not setting yourself up for conflict. You're not setting yourself up for conflict. One of the questions that I know usually happens is like, how do you switch off of, this was asked offline, like how do you switch off of someone that you really spent a lot of time into, but you don't see it reciprocating back? One of the first places that you have to start off with is you have to start with these ingredients on yourself. You got to start with those ingredients on yourself. And be truthful with yourself. Be honest. Be transparent with yourself. And ask yourself certain questions about that relationship. Is this a purposeful relationship? Listen, I'm for interacting with everyone, but I don't do life with everyone. I have a lot of people in my life, and I interact with in and out of a lot of network, but I can't get time back. There's certain times that is allocated for family, that it just is what it is. There's certain time that's allocated for my siblings, my parents, my wife, and my confidant. Like there's certain. So when you start thinking about it from that context, that means your time is how you invest into people. And I don't know anyone that invests and is okay with taking a loss or not getting a return on their investment. So you got to ask yourself this one question. Am I getting a return on my investment with this person? My investment of time, energy, am I getting a return? And then you ask, is this person worth the investment? Because sometimes there's people that are worth the investment. You're just not getting a return on investment. And that prompts a conversation. Is there truth in the relationship? Is there transparency? And where is the trust within that relationship? Because I promise you, it's somewhere. If you're not getting a return on your relationship, it's either in a truth category or it could be in a transparency category that's affecting the trust. It's one of those three. Somewhere within those three, you may not, like, something may be off. And if it is, then you have to investigate that. If they're truly a friend, you have to have tough conversations. You got to sit them aside, and you got to have a heart to heart. Listen, you can't ask someone to be truthful and transparent with you if you're not willing to be truthful, if you're not willing to be transparent. And that's where intentionality comes in. See, the problem is our insecurities make us keep people at arm's length. We're afraid to be vulnerable to people. But vulnerability is a prerequisite to have genuine friendships. But we're afraid to be vulnerable. Well, how are they going to look at me? Listen, if they look at you in any other way but without giving you grace, then they weren't friends to be in the first place. Because real friends cover. The Bible says there's a friends stick closer than a brother. A brother is born in adversity. Listen, there's certain things that you'll go through. Life is trying to show you who your friends are. But we're not paying attention. We're not paying attention. Life is trying to show you. So shift a bit. Dial down the time. Limit the physical interactions. And then see how it plays out. Start operating from a level of friendship if that person was a confidant, and see if it functions well in a friendship. If not, shift down again. Shift down again to an associate level and see if it functions there. If it functions there and it's mutual, cool. If not, shift down again. Let it be an acquaintance, right? And then if that person puts more time into it, then you build it back up. So that's how you protect that. Pay attention to who isn't your friend celebrating your success. That's right. I talked about this. Real friends reveal themselves in moments when you're receiving your reward. Yeah, and enemies also reveal themselves as well, because they'll feel some type of way that it's your moment in the spotlight. It's your turn to get the praise. It's your turn to get all of the adoration. Real friends are able to celebrate you when you're on top as well. See, everybody is okay with being your friend when you're at the bottom, because you at the bottom make them feel good about themselves. But something about success. Success reveals friends faster than failure will. Listen, success, somebody put that in the comment section. Success will reveal your friends, your true friends, faster than failure will. Failure is good, but everybody has this part in them that runs to the aid of someone that's down and out. But oh, God forbid that same person that you help out all of a sudden is at the mountaintop. How you gonna feel about that? So success produces more friends, reveals more friends than failure does. So see if there's not any additional questions. I want you to continue to tune in and we'll have this conversation. But even after the broadcast, if you have any questions, any comments, or anything like that you want to contribute to the conversation, go ahead and send it to our direct message. Direct message us at Crown Church. Make sure you're following us on all of our social media outlets, on all of our platforms, as we have things coming out and we just randomly pop up and have the conversation. So you just got to be ready. And if you're following us, then you'll get the notification when we actually go live. So make sure you do that. But if you have any additional questions that the next time we jump on, if we get to your question that we can answer, we'll be more than glad to take it even after the broadcast. Now, as we move forward, there are personal friendships that we talked about. And now this upcoming week in the series, I'll be talking about the formula for professional relationships. Yeah, for professional relationship. Hear me. Just because somebody is your friend does not obligate them to do business with you. Yeah, I know you said, well, if you're my friend, you should support me. Listen, I'm going to talk about that. I agree with supporting your friends in business. However, the formula for business is different than the formula for friendships and personal friendship. Professional relationships and personal are two separate principles. And the problem is we keep assuming because someone is our friend, we're supposed to do professional business with them. I agree if that person is functioning by the principles in the business. Because there's some friends that got businesses that ain't professional. And since it's not professional, I don't want to hurt the friendship. So listen, make sure you tune in. Follow us on social media because you'll get all of the recordings and everything like that. I love you guys. Put people in their proper place to prevent potential problems in the future. Okay? Truth, trust, and transparency. Go ahead and build your relationships and enjoy them. Okay? When you have people in the proper place, in the right buckets, it's going to prevent problems. Have a great, 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 great day. And listen, make sure all that you do is for His glory and His glory alone. Be blessed and have a great day.